Improve your eyesight by thought alone. Hi, I am your host, Sky Cheyenne, and welcome back once again to Rebuild Reality, where as always, we talk about who we really are, why we're here, and how all of this stuff here in life works. Now today I really want to talk about this because it's so cool, and I personally know people who have done this. And for you guys to understand, to know that incredible things do happen, and they can happen to you because they're your innate ability. They're what you are supposed to be able to do. So this is part of stripping away all of our limiting beliefs. And we help ourselves to do that by having examples of, yeah, that stuff's real. So let's begin by, in about 2016, I became a QHHT practitioner. And if you don't know what QHHT is, it stands for Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. And over the years that I practiced that, and I did hundreds and hundreds of sessions, I began to realize, whoa, what's possible in these sessions and what's possible for us is only limited by our imagination. Because the things that I did for people were just like people who needed surgery the next day that didn't end up having to have it. You know, we're talking big stuff when we get into the mind. When we get into the place where we're in that deep meditative state, then we're talking to it. That's one of the ways to do it. But as I was a practitioner, you know, I'd hear a lot of examples. I'd hear a lot of stories from other practitioners and stuff. And one of them was that there was a girl who would come in who really wanted to improve her eyesight. That was the main reason she came. And she was told during the hypnosis session that she needed to stop wearing her glasses and to envision light pouring through her eyes for 30 days. Well, I think like a lot of us are like 30 days. And she was like, how am I going to stop wearing my glasses? So she didn't do it. And then a number of months later, she went back again and she ended up having another session with this lady. And she was told exactly the same thing during this session as well. This time, the difference was that she listened. And so she stopped wearing her glasses, and for 30 days, she said that twice a day for 15 minutes, she would envision light pouring out of her eyes. And about 2 weeks into it, she was out running an errand, and she realized, oh, there's an optometrist right there, and they have this big sign in the window that says free eye test. So she's like, well, it seems like it's improving, but I'm just not really sure. So she went and she had a test done, and her eyesight had already improved by 50%. She said that totally spurred her on to go ahead and continue for the rest of the 30 days. And she said after that, she never had to wear her glasses again. Now, I told a friend of mine this story, and this friend is, to me, he's pretty extraordinary. Anyone that can do some of the things he does and know some of the things he knows is, to me, extraordinary. And but it's also how we're supposed to be. It's also what's normal and doable for us. So I like to use him as an example, if I may. So I told him about this story. And then I think it was like a few weeks, maybe a month later, I went to see him again. And he's like, you know that thing that you told me about pouring light through your eyes? He's like, I actually did it. And I'm like, oh, wow, well, what happened? And he's like, well, my eyesight improved and I had to go back to an older set of glasses. And I'm like, well, that's great. And he's like, yeah, I had to go back to an old prescription because I couldn't wear my glasses anymore. I'm like, well, how long did you do it for? You know what he told me? He said, 2 seconds. And I'm like, 2 seconds. You did it for 2 seconds and you already improved your eyesight? And I'm like, well, why did you stop? Why didn't you just go all the way? He's like, because as soon as I started doing it, he said, I had this voice in my head that said, do you really want to? And he thought for a moment. He's like, actually, I really like my glasses. I really like how I look in my glasses. He's like, I feel like they protect my eyes. So he's like, so that's why I stopped it. And he said that while he was doing it, he could see these little levers and wheels turning in the corners of his eyes. He said, I could see it literally happening, the mechanics of it on like a world, how do I put this, a universal structural way, because it's very much where it all kind of fits together. It's very, the structure of it is very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like sacred geometry. So it's all these things that all kind of fit together and create all kinds of things. So he's like, I could see this stuff happening out of the corner of my eyes, you know? So I'm like, well, that's pretty mind-blowing, you know? And it shows what we can do. Now, obviously, someone like him, he's spent some time getting rid of these beliefs, getting rid of these blocks and ideas of limitation over the years, and he's pretty darn open. And that's why he was able to do it like that. Now, all of us have that ability inside of us. It's the only thing that's blocking us is that guy, is our belief system. So it's in understanding that and seeing that and knowing that these things happen, these things are real, that you are incredible, that you are amazing, that it is who you are, which is why I think that it feels so, you know, innately that we've got this belief. That's why we look for videos like this. We hunt around for all this stuff, you know, for magic and miracles, and because there's a part of us that knows it's supposed to be like that. This is supposed to be real. You know, we get here and we're like, what's going on? Why can't I fly? Why can't I read minds? Why can't I do magic and do all these things? Which is why people love things like Harry Potter and all that stuff, because it rings that bell of remembrance of like, yeah, I should be able to do that. Like, why can I not do that? Why does the world say I cannot do that? And that's why I'm here, to tell you, yeah, you're right. That little voice inside of you is right. You can do it. It is a part of who you are. And what's happening right now is we're in a process of just getting rid of those old beliefs, because the impossible is now, even in our 3D reality, becoming possible. So we're in a period here where we are changing dramatically. And I think everyone can see that. But you have to understand that with what appears to be bad or the darkness, since we're in duality, you have to get equal amounts of the light, equal amounts of the positive, because it's always in balance. So as we have all these things happening, well, our superpowers, our true abilities are coming up for us to see. And so that's why I want you guys to know that's who you are. And these are your abilities. So we're pulling away the old life. We're getting rid of those thoughts that we're trapped, that we're victims, that we can't do anything, and moving into this mindset where it's this powerful mindset of where you claim it, you take it. You're like, that's who I am. Now that is a life worth living. As a person like that, now you're here for enjoyment. Now you understand that since you are who you're supposed to be, because that's who you really are, the universe is like, oh, there you are. I couldn't find you before because I couldn't see the real you. Now that you're the real you, oh, yeah, here's all this stuff. Remember, I got all your stuff waiting here. So it's so much like that, you know? So that's why I love sharing these things with you guys. So you know that miracles and magic, yeah, that stuff's real. And that stuff is you. So thank you for being here with me. Of course, my name is Sky Cheyenne, and I'm going to put a video, I'm going to try and put one of those little cards up here of another video you might be interested in, is if you're interested in changing your appearance with your mind. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing, and I'll see you next time here on Rebuild Reality.